Hello, everyone. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Cleveland, Ohio. Hope you are having a great night wherever you are. And it is time to talk about procrastination. This is a topic near and dear to my heart. It ruled me for many, many years. So I have been putting together some great notes, and I'm going to give you lots of tricks, tips, and techniques on how to beat procrastination if you're fighting it in your life, because it is a strong, powerful enemy. Procrastination can keep you from your dreams. And the sad thing is it can keep you from, you're almost there, right? Like you can see them, and procrastination will ruin that for you. So we're going to take a deep dive into procrastination today, why you do it, how you can fix it, what are the signs if it's happening to someone close to you. We're going to talk about all of it. And there are some great strategies here. So I don't want you to miss this. All right. That's all we're talking about today is procrastination. If you do have a question or a comment and you're watching this live with me, first of all, if you're watching this now, tell me where you are out there in the world. And then if you have a question or a comment as we go along, just drop it into the comment box and they show those to me every few minutes. Okay. So everything else is ready to go. So sit back, relax, and get ready. It's all about procrastination. I'm Brent Webb. This is the Mind Power Secrets podcast. And the question is, why do we procrastinate? Why? There's lots of reasons. We also are going to tell you how you can stop doing it, because really it is just a never-ending cycle. If you're in that cycle of procrastination, if you live in the nation of procrasta, you got to move out. You got to get out of there. So we're going to go into it today. There's just so much to get to, so much to unpack. Let me drop that off like this. Good. Let's get started. So if you are a procrastinator, and I'm telling you, I was the worst at this. Think about this situation. You have a deadline coming up for something, right? But instead of doing the work on it, you're fiddling with all sorts of miscellaneous, unimportant crap. You're checking your email, you're on your social media, you're reading maybe a post by me, you're watching videos, you're surfing the internet, you're looking at all the forums, whatever. You know that you should be working, but you just don't feel like doing anything. Everyone is usually pretty familiar with this phenomena of procrastination, because it literally grips so many people. When we procrastinate, we squander our free time. And time is the most precious thing we have. It isn't money. It's definitely time. That is what we want more of in our lives. We squander that time away. We put off important tasks we know we should be doing until it's too late. And then when it is too late, we get stressed, we get anxious, we panic. And all we do is wish that we had started earlier. I can remember being a kid in school, and you could have an entire semester to write a paper, and I wouldn't start writing it until the day before. Right? That was what so many people do. And you create that stress and that anxiety, and it starts to become, it's ingrained in you. And then every time, it's so much easier when you're repeating the same things. And in this case, of course, it's a bad thing. It's a negative thing. But it's like, when a needle plays a record, right, inside the groove, that's what's happening inside you. It gets easier every time you do it. And unfortunately, like I said, if it's the bad things, you're just making a path for that to happen. Chronic procrastinators, I would say that's what I was for sure, because I did it with everything all the time since I was a little kid until just a few years ago. Okay, so 30, 40 years of that. You get looped into this cycle where you can't get out of it. Looping, it's like Groundhog Day over and over again. And then you start delaying. You start putting off other things. You start slacking. You start hiding from the work. You face it only when it's unavoidable, right? That's the only time. Then you're in that loop again. And it happens over and over and over. It's just a bad habit. It eats us away. It prevents us from reaching the goals that we want in life, for achieving anything greater than what we have now. Procrastination is responsible. So I thought first we talk about what it is, because a lot of people don't really understand what procrastination is. Okay, so I thought I'd give you the definition of it. Procrastination, it's usually, almost always, a product of fear. Okay, we don't procrastinate because we enjoy adding stress to our lives. right? We actually procrastinate usually out of fear of failure. We fear not living up to our own hopes for ourselves. We feel stressed out to perform well because we care so deeply about what we create that we have these high expectations for ourselves. And that creates anxiety because we're not sure we can meet those expectations. We're worthy of that. We fear the pain that will come with actually working on a project or a task and then finding that we didn't do such a great job. In fact, we become so afraid of not succeeding that we put off the thing we really need to get done until the panic sets in. And then, ironically, we end up doing a rush job that we're not even proud of. And you think we would learn the first time, the fourth time, the 317th time, but we don't. Procrastination is our mind's way of trying to avoid these feelings of stress and anxiety. And remember what we talked about last week. Your mind is there to protect you. That's what your mind thinks it's doing, but you don't need that type of protection anymore. Okay. So instead of working on the thing causing our fear, like the big assignment or the project or homework or whatever, we start turning to distractions. And what those do, they provide short-term instant gratification. And that grants us some stress relief. The part of our brain that wants us to procrastinate doesn't understand that we're setting ourselves up for more pain later. That part of us only lives in the present moment. And in the present moment, the quickest and easiest way to feel happy is to avoid the thing causing your stress, causing your anxiety, AKA the chore, the task, the project, the thing that we're procrastinating on. So for instance, you might find yourself scrolling on the internet or listening to music for hours without having accomplished anything that you really needed to get done. Now, this is something I used to do all the time. I call this productively procrastinating. Now, that occurs when we are afraid of a particular task, right? We don't want to start it, but we want to feel that enjoyable feeling that we get of being productive. So what do we do then? We just start doing unimportant things, less important chores, things that don't really move us forward. So, for example, I might reorganize the studio, or I might clean out my desk, or I might rearrange the folders on my desktop. But these things just make you feel productive. Because in reality, you're just spinning your wheels. You're trying to avoid the thing that you should really be doing. And of course, this can't go on forever, right? It can't. So everything comes crashing down on us when the deadline approaches. The panic sets in. You start getting the cold sweats. Sometimes we're able to pull through at the last minute. We get our assignment done on time. And then we start to think, well, maybe I work well under pressure. We start thinking that's what brings out the best in us. That's just the BS we tell ourselves. And you have to remember this. What if you don't have a deadline to save you? Not everything has a deadline. Not everything has a due date, like working out does, changing careers, fixing a relationship. There is no due date on those things. Procrastinating things like these can have terrible consequences because you'll never live up to your full potential, ever. That never-ending cycle will consume you. So how is one supposed to ever stop procrastinating if there are no deadlines? And therefore, there's no panic to step in. That's your red flag, right? The panic. But why get to that point when you're stressed and you have anxiety and you're physically expressing the emotion of stress and anxiety and worry and all of that? How do we avoid procrastination before it starts? Because that is the real question. How do you avoid it before it even starts? I have 4 steps for you. And I'll tell you what, trying to get it down to 4 was difficult. I have some bonuses I'm going to throw at you at the end because these are such great strategies. But I'm going to give you 4 steps that you can do the next time this happens to you. So step 1, acknowledge your fear. The first step to avoiding procrastination is to acknowledge your fear. Determine the reason why you have a habit of procrastination. So then next time you can start getting to the root of it. You can start to think about your emotions. Now, to do this, you have to do a little self-exploration. You have to ask yourself questions like, why is this particular assignment, why is this project stressing me out? Do I have high expectations for myself that I'm not sure I can meet? Do I feel like I need to live up to previous work I've done in the past? When you get honest with yourself, it's magic. You end up facing your fear. You end up realizing that it's both very unreal and it's currently holding you back. That's step one. What is step two, Brent? I'm glad you asked, because here it is. Step two, establish your why. The second step to avoiding procrastination is to establish why you want to stop procrastinating. Sounds easy, right? Is it because it's the only way to break through to the next level of success? Is it because you want to be the kind of person who keeps their word and gets their stuff done on time? Is it because you want to enjoy free time later? What will the consequences be if you keep procrastinating? When we ask ourselves these questions, we replace our anxiety of failure with new emotions. Remember, those old, worn out, just like a record. We got to change it. We have to replace those repetitions, those habits, make new ones, create new patterns in our mind. We'll start to feel excitement about the rewards we'll receive when we accomplish our goals on time. We'll even start to feel fear of what will happen if we continue procrastinating. These questions will bring that up. So it's very, very important. Remember, find out why you want to stop procrastinating. And then you ask, is it because it's the only way to break through to the next level? Is it because you want to be the kind of person who keeps their word? Do you want free time later? What will the consequences be if you keep procrastinating? Ask yourself those questions. When procrastination rears its ugly head in your life, and you will start to be able to go through the shadow work that you need to do, but you'll be able to do it so easily because these things will just disappear. They can't stand up. I talk about this all the time. They can't stand up to the scrutiny. Here is number 3, remove distractions. The next step to avoiding procrastination is to make sure your environment is conducive to productivity. That's so boring, Brent. I know, but you got to get these things done. You are really holding you back and you're blaming everyone. That's what we do. We play the victim card. We blame everyone else for our circumstances, but you are here now. And whatever happened to you in the past is over. You have to take control now. You have to stand in your power. You have to remove all the distractions from your space. Here, I'm sitting here in the studio tonight. I used to have so much crap all over the desk and all over to look at and to be playing. I don't have my phone here. You have to be able to, I'm getting to be such a big fan of just turning off my phone, putting it away in the drawer. That way I'm not tempted. I don't do a lot of social media anyway, besides what I do for you guys. That's a full-time job. So I'm not really scrolling and looking at other things. What is step 4? If you've done these 3 things, and if you've listened to me before, then step 4 should not be a surprise at this point. Step 4, what is missing here? It's the action step. You have to take immediate action, okay? The last and most important step is to take immediate action. As soon as you realize that you're procrastinating or that you're even thinking about it, it's vital that you take immediate measures to start working on the project you need to work on, even if it's just a tiny little bit. It's so much easier to continue a task than start it from scratch. Once you get the hardest part done with your project, which is just starting in the first place, it's much more likely that you're going to keep working. Now, I get up every morning and I do my morning routine and I do chanting and I do meditation and I walk. Now, I'm a big dude, losing weight. I'm juicing. I became a vegan, right? But I don't like exercise. I don't want to go outside and walk, especially when it's cold, when it's rainy. But you know what? As soon as my mind starts playing the game of you don't have to go today, you didn't, you deserve it, take a day off. You have to go into immediate action immediately because you can bypass that voice inside your mind. But to do that, you've got to take immediate action. Make it happen right away. Okay. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you some tips. You can take immediate action by setting a timer to work on a small piece of the project. I don't care, 15 minutes. Seriously, it only takes 15 minutes to get started. And after those 15 minutes are up, take a 5-minute break. Over time, you work yourself up to the full, to the full amount. But you want to Start, even if you just do a little tiny bit. Okay. That action step is so important. So I told you I had so many strategies I wanted to share with you that I couldn't stick to 4. So I have a few extras that I'm going to give you. Okay. Other reasons that we procrastinate, other things that we can do to stop it. Okay. One of the great things, you can break your work into little steps. You know, part of the reason we procrastinate is because subconsciously we find it too overwhelming. You break it down into little chunks, then focus on one little piece at a time. Just like I just said, your task will then start to become simple. And it'll get to the point where you just go, you know, it's so simple, I'll just do it now. Next, change your environment. Different environments have different impact on procrastination, have different impact on productivity. Look at your work desk, look at your room, wherever you work. Do they make you want to work, or do they make you want to snuggle and sleep? If your work area is the latter, then you should look into changing your workspace. Another thing that's good is creating a detailed timeline with specific deadlines. Having just one deadline for your work is like an invitation to procrastinate. That's because we get the impression that we have time and we keep pushing everything back until what? Until it's too late. My goals are broken down into monthly, into weekly, right now, daily task lists. And the list is a call to action that I must accomplish this by a specific date. I must do this by this date. Otherwise, my goals will be put off. So do this for yourself, although it sounds like overwhelming or it sounds like just too much trouble. This can change everything. You have to start changing those patterns, those belief patterns, those thought patterns. Another great thing to do is to eliminate your procrastination pit stops. That's what I call them. And I had many of these. You're procrastinating a little too much. It's because we make it easy to procrastinate. So a great thing to do, go on your computer. When you're finished watching me here, look at your browsers and see what's taking up a lot of your time. And maybe shift them into a different folder that's less accessible. And you're not looking at the tabs whenever you're doing your work. Disable the automatic notification option in your email. Get rid of the distractions around you. Turn off the notifications on your cell phone from social media. Some people go out of their way to delete their social media, their Facebook accounts. And if you did that, you wouldn't be watching me right now. But if you feel like you have to do that, then it's something you got to do. It's a little drastic. It's a little extreme, but addressing procrastination is more important than social media. Okay. But if you feel that's what you need to do, go for it. Now, another great thing, and my dad used to say this, if you want to become a millionaire, you have to talk to a millionaire. You're not going to go down to the pier and talk to the guy sleeping underneath. So why don't you hang out with people that inspire you at least to take action? Identify the people, the friends, the colleagues in your life who trigger you. Most likely they're go-getters, they're hard workers, and hang out with them more. You have to remember you are the sum total of your 6 closest friends. If you're surrounded by negativity and you're surrounded by people who don't go after their dreams and tell you why you can't, you have to get out of that group. You have to expand your group. This is one that I love. Tell others about your goals. This is important. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your colleagues, tell everybody you can about your projects. So many people say not to do this, but you're creating for yourself a safety net that way. Okay? Because when you see these people, now they're going to ask you about the status of the big project, of the big dream that you're working on. So it's going to help you. So you got to be sure, you got to believe, you got to be ready to do this, because you don't want to be one of those people that just keeps, that never follows through. You tell everyone everything you're going to do and you never do it, because then you just become a joke. This time, stand firm in your power and do it. Do it. How about this? This is similar. Seek out somebody who's already done it. Success leaves footprints. Tony Robbins' very amazing quote. It's so true. If you're going to try to do something that a lot of people can't do, find someone who's already done it. They'll cut your learning curve. If somebody's taken 10, 20 years to get to where they are, wouldn't it be amazing to be able to cut that out of your learning curve? So seek someone who has already achieved the outcome. What is it you want to accomplish? And who are the people that have accomplished it already? Go find them, connect with them. Seeing meeting, hearing, reading about, living proof of your dream, that makes your goals much more accessible, makes your goals much more achievable. If you take action, this is an amazing trigger for that. Something else, reclarify your goals. If you've been procrastinating for an extended period of time, it might reflect a misalignment between what you want and what you're currently doing. So many times we outgrow our goals as we discover more about ourselves, but we don't change our goals to reflect that. How long has it been since you thought about your dreams, that you thought about your goals? A year, 2 years, 10 years? Because of course things have changed. It's always good to unpack and look at those things. You need them. Don't keep them hidden away somewhere and think they're no longer attainable. Stop complicating things. This was going to be one of the 4, because I used to do this all the time. It's where you're looking for the perfect time to do it, right? Maybe now is not the best time because of X, Y, Z. Ditch that right away, because there's never a perfect time. Trust me. If you keep waiting for one, you're never going to accomplish anything. Perfectionism is one of the biggest reasons for procrastination. Perfectionism is one of the biggest reasons for procrastination. Okay? My last piece of advice, a lot of people won't like it, but it's what worked for me. Get a grip and do it. Just do it. In the end, it all boils down to that action step. You can dream about it. You can daydream about it. You can wish for it. But without the action step to bring the power of your subconscious into reality, it's never going to work. You're just daydreaming. You can do all the strategizing. You can do all the planning. You can do all the hypothesizing. But if you don't take action, nothing is going to happen. You don't have to be a mind power expert to know that. If you do nothing, everything is going to stay the way it is. I get clients who keep complaining about their situations, but they refuse to take action at the end of the day. Okay? Here's my final word about this. This is a little bit of a reality check. So, I've never heard anyone procrastinate their way to success. Never. And I doubt it's going to happen anytime in the near future. Whatever it is you're procrastinating on, if you want to get it done, you need to get a grip on yourself. You need to do it. When you find yourself procrastinating, take a moment to change from a reactive state to an active state. Let the project or the assignment or the chore, whatever it is you're supposed to do, you know it scares you, right? But you acknowledge that anxiety. You acknowledge the presence of that anxiety. Because when you do that, amazing things happen. When you acknowledge your anxiety's presence, you take the very first step, the huge step of awareness, the very first step towards removing it. Then, oh man, you can be a superhero. You can attack your procrastination head on. Take immediate action to curb the slippery slope that is this. I will work on it later. You got to stop it, because the opposite of procrastination is not productivity. Think about this. The opposite of procrastination is not productivity, since productivity can be a form of procrastination, right? The opposite of procrastination is usually courage. When you gather the courage and the determination to really examine your procrastination habits, you'll find that you do have the motivation to overcome them. I never thought I could do it. My friends, you can do it. Get to work and relieve your stress in a healthy way, not by drinking, not by drugs, not by sleeping 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours a day. Do it the right way. Relieve your stress in a healthy way. Now, I hope you got some great tips here. There are some amazing strategies. If you are a procrastinator, and I mean, I still do from time to time, and I use these strategies myself, but let me know in the comments maybe where you find this happening in your life, because for so many people, it happens in so many different ways. Now, remember, if you have not joined our Facebook community, for those of you who still have your Facebook, you haven't deleted it yet, we have a fantastic group of like-minded people, almost 10,000 people in this group. It's a private Facebook community, and there we teach people how to unlock and unleash their mind power, how to transform their lives. There are so many incredible people with incredible stories in that group. It's absolutely free, and we're very selective. We only select 1 out of every 5 people that apply, because we want to make sure that you are somebody who is willing to take the risk to go after what it is that you want, that you're at least open to the idea. Go now, brentsgroup.com. No apostrophe on the S. It's brentsgroup.com. You can get your private invite. You can take a look, kick the tires a little bit, but you'll see some fantastic knowledge in that group. You have to remember, I've been doing this for a long time. This is my 30th year performing all over the world for millionaires, billionaires, celebrities, professional athletes, sports teams. And all that time, I've been teaching them about mind power. Now, as I'm pretty much at the end here, I think for the whatever time I have left, I'm going to be teaching this to the masses. It's not the billionaires that need this. It's not the people that have nannies and accountants and everyone to do everything. It's the masses. It's the single parents. It's the grandparents. It's the single dad, whatever. It's people like you, people like me. We need this information. So if you've been reading up on the whole idea of mind power, if you understand it, if you are ready to try it, join our Facebook community. I promise you, it will start to change things for you. You'll be looking at things with a different perception. And when you do that, remember, perception is reality. Perception is reality. The way you look at things changes those things. You are in control. You're co-creating your existence with the universe. You are powerful, a co-creator. Step into your power. You keep giving it away to everyone else. We'll teach you how to do it. So it's brentsgroup.com. Brent's Group, no apostrophe on the S, brentsgroup.com. And finally, if you're just new to the program, you're tuning in, and you've never read my new book, we are giving away still free copies. It's 5 steps to the perfect mindset, taking you from where you are now, wherever that is, to where you want to be. Okay, so taking you from the life you're living now to the life that you've been dreaming of, that you've been waiting to inhabit. 5 steps, 5 things that you need to know. Everything in life that I've come up against has been a mindset problem. I've come up against drugs and alcohol. I've come up against cancer. I've come up against so many things. And in the end, they're all mindset things, because of the way we react to them, the way we fight them, the way we, any of that, that is a mindset thing. So you can get over these things with some mind power training. You can get that in our free group, okay? And you can get that here in the book, successsecrets.net. Successsecrets.net. You don't have nothing to buy there. You can download a free copy. You can read it tonight. It's pretty thin, 60, 70 pages. I was very succinct. Everything you need to know to get on your way to where you want to be. Go to successsecrets.net now and grab your copy. And finally, remember, we're here each and every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with a different topic. We get so many great emails and messages from people, and we've last couple of weeks been answering questions. But if you have a topic or a question or something you want to see covered, just send us a message or an email, or drop it in the comments here. Let us know, because we love having different topics that we can talk about. But every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's the Mind Power Secrets podcast. Now, next month, I'm going out. I haven't done cruises in a while, but I'm going to be performing for 3 weeks. So we're going to put these in the can, so they'll be recorded for you. But we have some great topics. We have some great guests that you're going to meet too. So I'm really excited about that. That's all I got for you today. What I want you to do is I want you to enjoy yourself. Okay? We keep helping everyone else. You can't pour from an empty cup. You've heard that. You have to take some time for you. You have to take some time to sit quietly. You have to meditate. You have to do something to give yourself that self-love. Remember, you deserve another chance. You've given everyone second, third, fourth chances, but where's yours? Grant it to yourself right now, tonight. And tomorrow could be your clean start. You wipe that slate clean. All that crap from the past is over. All that crap you're worried about in the future, it's never going to happen like you think. So why don't you spend time right here, right in the now? This is your moment. This is your power. This is where you can make change, real, lasting change in your life, the current moment. So go out, enjoy yourself, and remember, don't worry, be happy, and feel amazing. I'll see you next Wednesday.